really good. I get to wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and make some soup. It's the best. I love it. I get to lay in a bed by myself all of my life. It's fantastic.
You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses. You right to jail.
Where's my burrito? Where's my burrito? Where's my burrito?
Oh!
Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
We obviously didn't communicate clearly. We're here to discuss your surrender, not mine.
Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una pipa. Me preguntas si te quiero. Yo te digo que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que pensar. Yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más. No estás en mi nivel y tú no eres obligación. No estás motivada y tú aburre mi corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquila mientras escriba tu canción. Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una pipa. Me preguntas si te quiero. Yo te digo que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que pensar. Yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más. No estás en mi nivel y tú no eres obligación. No estás motivado. Corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquila mientras escriba tu canción. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero vamos a bailar. Cintura a cintura papi tra tra tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero vamos a bailar. Cintura a cintura papi tra tra tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Luis Martinez, aka Big Chief Burrito, live with you on a Tuesday. And on Tuesdays we wear pink. See, got a little pink.
Ah, it's Wednesdays.
Anyway, exactly. Wednesday we wear pink.
It's
right?
Wednesdays we wear pink. Yes.
I got my pink bow. Anyway.
Oh man, I did not get the memo.
We got enough pink back there. All
Yep, there you go.
right. Mi Gente show live and direct, live and alive on a Wednesday. So I did have the bit right. I was like, Wednesdays.
You did, just the day wrong, because we
Day
usually
wrong,
do
'cause
Tuesdays.
we usually do
but-
Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna jump right into the day. We'll do personal news and we'll do Cheeseman stuff later. But
Yeah.
today we are streaming on a Wednesday because we have an interview with one of the owners of one of the first Latino-owned production studios in Los Angeles. We have somebody that I've connected with originally a few years back because I was one of the contributors to the John Leguizamo had a comic book campaign that they ran. So I met, this is when I was able to meet John at Border X a few years back, which was really good. I met Nelson and Fanny back then. And then I've seen them periodically. Specifically, we saw them this year at the San Diego Latino Festival. They were some of the producers for Maribel's film, DACA, my DACA life, right?
My so-called
DACA
Yeah.
life.
We love it. Classic.
Classic. If you're Latino and you're in Southern California, LA, and you're involved or at least anywhere cognizant of the film industry, you are aware of Avenida Productions. Like I said, they started off producers. They've actually bought a studio. They've helped produce films. They also have a fundraising platform that is rivaling GoFundMe and Kickstarter in terms of the place to fund your projects for Latino creatives. So we had to take time out of our busy schedule, job hunting, hosting karaoke, training dogs,
Photo shoot later.
photo shoots, all the stuff that we do on a daily basis to invite Nelson Grande on the show.
Yes! welcome.
What's up, you two? Thank you guys for having me. I gotta say,
Pleasure's all ours.
I was laughing my ass off at that intro.
Oh yeah.
God. What was your favorite part?
I don't know, somewhere between the singing Chihuahua, Bill O'Reilly freaking out, the dog with the Christmas hat. I don't know. It was so much. There was so much
chaotic.
going on.
Yeah. No. I add another green screen element every show. So it started off. The first thing it started off as was just the cat jam, the cat jamming thing. I had that, and I was like, okay. And then I added Bernie, and we'll do it live. And at this point, it's just every green screen thing that I can find go in there.
Every meme goes on there. It's great.
My goodness, your intro is going to be like at 45 minutes.
No, it's
going to be longer than your show.
It's just the 4 minutes, but I just gotta move stuff around, cram it, stuff like that. Yeah, it gets changed. All right,
it's like everything everywhere all at once.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You get it.
And my crack is watching right here at the bottom of my screen where I can see you guys and just seeing like the people like reacting to it. I love that part. All right, let's jump into it, Nelson. Man, thank you for joining us. Number one, you guys are super busy at Avenida, and you took the time to be with us today. So, I mean, give us a quick update. Like, I know you guys you started the company several years back. You've produced films. And it's almost easy to talk about like your crowdfunding platform, right? To just kind of put that to the side because of all the other things that you're going. But what's happening in the moment right now for you guys?
Yeah, man. So what's going on right now is that I'm going to give you the quick overview of what we do.
You muted.
Sorry.
Bro, you wanted the quick version, didn't you?
Wow, immediately mute you.
That was enough.
It's like, that's enough.
I wanted to mute myself, not you. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you the quick overview of what the company does and why we're up to now, because it's going to all tie in together.
Right.
So, we started this company 7 years ago out of a kitchen table, Fanny and myself. And the purpose of it was to help democratize access to Hollywood. Famously, it's, who or what community you're part of that allows you to get in a lot easier to tell your stories and to break this, Hollywood, system. So we broke it down to 3 components. Like, what are the 3 components that are needed to create projects? So you need the funding, you need the production, you need the distribution of it. So for us, we decided to think out of the box because we're forced to. Some of these situations, like when you're forced into something is birthed, born out of it. Like you mentioned, crowdfunding. We've raised millions and millions of dollars for hundreds of projects now over the course of 7 years. So, we have our own crowdfunding platform called Support Our Story that it's been out for over a full year now. We were one of the sponsors at South by Southwest, and we're outpacing Kickstarter 4-1
Wow.
So
Very
yeah.
nice.
So that's exciting. Um, the production side of it, obviously, we have our studio, we run productions. There's some really cool stuff coming up later this year that we're going to be able to share. But we are just also in that sense traditional as a traditional production house, with the element that we do help a lot of underrepresented communities, and primarily the Latino community, create projects that they normally can't have access to because budgets are smaller. So we help them, and we bring in a lot of resources and a lot of connections. And we really like to tie in a lot of the talent together and really be like a connector. So we act as a company, but also a lot like activists and as an organization. But to bring you up to current, what we're doing now is, we're getting ready to launch our streaming platform called A Plus, and it's going to be, I tell people, the Latino BET. It's essentially what it is. It's not. It's in English. It's English language, and it's focused on servicing the U.S. Latino, us here. And the thing is, we're such a rich community of U.S. Latinos. All of us here in the States that, we come from Mexico, Puerto Rico, El Salvador, Venezuela, Cuba, everything and everywhere. So the issue is that the traditional Hollywood system gives us a movie or two a year, a couple of shows. They don't market it. They don't really do well generally in comparison to their what they call general market stuff. But even with that, it's not enough to represent all of the vast diversity within the Latinidad and here in the U.S. that who we are. So, it's a little difficult to understand, to really represent us as a whole as a community with just a handful of projects per year. So that's why we're creating this destination and network, which we're happy to announce will be going live in about 3 months. And what we're up to now is we're raising the remaining funds for it. We're venture capital backed. We're backed by angels and organizations. We've raised a ton of money because this takes a lot of money. We're competing for something to go on a national scale. This isn't something that we're going to roll out as something small. We're going big with this. So we've started a WeFunder campaign for $500,000 2 weeks ago. And we're at about $160,000 raised through the public in the community right now. So that's it's yeah.
He's trying to show it. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's another 12,000 that's come in. It takes a while to regenerate that.
Show it. Yeah, there it is.
So
I'm hearing a little Lou. I can hear our voices.
Sorry. Let me.
There you go.
Got it. Having a little technical issue here. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so
it's all good.
That's better, right? I think
Yep.
I have it playing in the background here. All right, so let's start at the WeFund because obviously this is a WeFunder campaign. I'm going to put the link in the description and I'll put it obviously here in the chat so people can check it out. Is the way I understand it, it's basically like a pre-launch, right? It's basically saying like if we started doing this thing that was happening, you can sort of put your name in the hat so that as soon as it launches, you're going to have the first option to invest. Am I looking at it the right way, or is it? Or
so there's a legal term. So there's this phase called testing the waters until we hit 160,000, which we've already hit. So we actually just hit it maybe 20 minutes ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's awesome.
So what it is, it's a thank you. Yeah, it's a legal term saying testing the waters. It's something that the SEC puts as far as regulations. It's because this new regulated crowdfunding is a new thing that's been around for just a handful of years. That it's where it allows the general public folks to submit your paperwork and information and all the you go through attorneys. It's a lot of it's quite of a feat to go through all of these steps to do it. So it's not like just opening up a regular crowdfunding campaign on GoFundMe.
Right.
So, but now that we've hit that, in the next few days, we should start seeing it transition the language. Instead of people putting reservations for an investment, the actual investment language changes. But it's all investment. It's all essentially the same thing, but you have to go through certain legal language.
Okay, got it. All right. And then once that goes, then you guys, once you become an investor, then it has the different things there in terms of like you're being part of the newsletters, getting access, being up to date on all that stuff, and then essentially, if you get in deep enough, right, reap the benefits, right?
Yeah. That's what it is. That's what we tell people. Listen, I tell you, like, my stocks are tied up in this company too.
Right.
So if I want to make my stocks grow. If you have stock in this company, your stocks are also in there with mine too. So it's not charity. It's not a contribution. It's an actual investment. So yeah, we're excited for people to check it out. And it's fun. Listen, if Fanny and I had it our way, we would have been actors. Unfortunately, the path wasn't there for most people from our backgrounds. The roles are really limited. So we got pushed into this whole thing about being executives and opening the studio, and now we're media tech or executives, and it's interesting because it's not what we have chosen, but it's what we were supposed to get. Because I remember the feeling of booking roles and how good it made me feel. But the feeling I get from when I see people make their movies because we help them, or people are directing a major TV show or doing something that they've achieved, it fills my heart in such a different way that I never knew was something that was exciting. Like it's kind of like receiving gifts and giving gifts. There's two different types of joys, and I really, really, really enjoy being the person that gives the gifts.
Yeah, is there anything to that? Because, like, for example, like somebody like myself, it's like, as an indie filmmaker, indie producer, we've made like a few SAG features and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm an actor, I'm a producer. But if somebody outside of myself was telling me something, to be like, well, what you're really best at is being an indie producer because of doing this. But what I love the most, what pulls at me the most, is like directing and writing. Is there any still internal struggle of that, of just being cognizant of, this is what I'm best at, this is what I'm here for? Like you said, the feeling I get from seeing other people succeed would exceed being like a series regular or having like a couple of big commercials with a tons of residuals. Do you still have that internal struggle at any level?
It's not so much an internal struggle. That's a good question, though. It's not so much an internal struggle, but it's actually something that is creating an even more exciting reality. Like, for instance, I have a show that I'm going to be hosting. It's a nighttime show where I already have a lot of my celebrity friends. It's like an interview type show. So I'm going to have some of my celebrity friends come through, and we're going to be interviewing them. So I'm still going to have the opportunity to be in front of the camera. I guess it's kind of like the Tyler Perry model, where Tyler Perry is still very much involved in the creative side of things, but he's the executive. Now, this isn't going to be the Nelson and Fanny show. Like, oh, it's just all our content. We're bringing in content from Emmy Award winners. We're bringing in content. We're elevating. We're creating stars. But if I'm one of the owners of the company, and I have a show. I can find a slot for myself.
You feel clean about it. You're like, I'm not taking the lead role in like a James Bond Latino remix, but I'm also here. Right?
But at this point, is the satisfaction of paving the way in something that is so rare and giving the opportunities that you are. I'm assuming that's also very fulfilling.
It really is. It really is. It's not the same thing, but it's kind of like the feeling I see watching my kids excel. The feeling I see, like, I'll give you a more recent thing, like my daughter, watching her in sports kick ass. And, she's the quarterback for her middle school team, and she played on the boys team recently. She was the starting quarterback for the summer league. So to watch her succeed in that, like, that's a lot more joy than I remember it feeling it myself. Now, I'm not saying that the filmmakers and people I help are my children, but the joy of being able to give, it really is I think it peaks at a different vibration than the receiving of yourself. And I think at the core, Fanny and I are such loving people, and we're really passionate about stuff. Like, we're deeply passionate about our cause and what we're up to. So that's why I think it translates to, like, if the universe and God have plans that I'm supposed to be executive and help others lift their path, I'm perfectly happy with that. Am I going to plug myself in with my own show, which, like I said, I already have it straight up? Oh, well, damn straight. So
might as well.
Why not? Might as well.
If you were thinking about yourself, if you were talking to yourself and Fanny 7 years ago, with where you are today, do you feel that back then this would feel like you were ahead of schedule, behind schedule, or right on time?
I had a schedule.
I had a schedule.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we have a lot of professional colleagues that will come up to us and be like, you guys are making rapid growth, especially because not so much just in the business in general, because in business in general, companies expect you, especially if you're a venture capital company, you're expected once you get funding within 5 years to like flip things. Cool, they look for these things, these unicorns and stuff like that. But in this industry, it's because it's so exclusive and there is no actual defined path and lane for diverse communities or the US Latino. The amount of stuff we've been able to do with the resources we've had is actually pretty it's pretty incredible, and it's something that we have to get present to, because we get so caught up in the work of what we're doing, and then you're only human. You have these things popping in your head like, oh, it's not good enough, you're not doing it fast enough, all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that I think that this is good advice for anybody. You actually have to just take a moment and actually understand where you really are and what you've actually accomplished, and and having that gratitude, because that gratitude is key. And it sounds like a broken record. You hear all these manifestation things online and everything, like be grateful and manifest, but it's as real as seeing my hand in front of my face right now. Like I believe that that's really important, to make sure that you're aware of your achievements.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, and we talk about it here on the show all the time, and and you mentioned it earlier when you started talking, in that it seems like we get one show at a time. We get one day at a time, then we get Gordita Chronicles, then we get this, we get Flaming Hot movie, then we get Blue Beetle. We get one thing at a time. Right now we have, like This Fool, and we were able to talk to Chris Estrada about the show and stuff like that. And I've always said it, and I think Fanny actually echoed this, and Eva Longoria echoed this a few weeks back in some interviews, is that the degree of difficulty for Latino creatives is set so high, where you get all these mediocre filmmakers that get to make multiple movies, TV shows, that get hired over and over again. Whereas if I make a film, or Sophia makes a film, or you guys make a film, and it doesn't do big numbers, you're sometimes relegated to like the bottom of the pile again. You don't get that opportunity. And I've always said that we will see true equity and equality when we are allowed to be mediocre, not in essence that that's what we're striving for, because we strive for excellence, but when we have the ability to fail. In the last 7 years, do you think we're any closer to that? How do you see the progression between then and now? We still get just one show at a time, but do you see it improving?
Well, unfortunately, the numbers show that it's actually going backwards from last year.
Oh no.
Yeah. Now, do I see it improving in the general like statistics and studios? No. What I do see changing is the community seems more active. The chatter online and the desire for what we want to see is actively growing. We could see it in our socials when we post stuff. Like even with our WeFunder campaign, like we have had hundreds of people join in and invest with us. Like it is, and it's not. And I'll tell you, we don't know the majority of those people. We've never met the majority of those people. So it's a direct response of like the hunger that's there for it. So no, it's actually backwards, and the numbers are actually worse than they were a few years back. So that's why we're not these conversations. We're not going to keep asking people. You know what it feels like? It feels like we're the unwanted stepchild, and like the studios are this, and like the studios like this nasty parent who's like, fine, here, have a little something. Oh look, see, you didn't do anything with it. You're horrible. Well, maybe we'll give you another chance again if you have a hit. Whereas the kid that they actually
the biological
the biological kid.
Here, you can have like the third weekend in February to open your movie. Let's see what you can do with it.
Yeah. So it's like there's definitely some of that feeling in there, and it's okay. We build our own table, our own family, our own community. We don't need them anymore with technology and advancements and all this stuff. And honestly, quite frankly, with the support that we've been able to gather over the past few years and what we're gathering now, mark my words, they're going to come around looking for us. They already have. They're already looking. They're already poking their noses. Some of these studios have already invited us, and to pick our brains. And we're like, you're not picking brains anymore. You're going to start paying.
Yes, I love that.
We're so hard to
Lighting a
find.
fire under our asses.
Latino creatives are so hard to find. They're like, oh, we don't know.
Especially in California.
We can't find no.
Where are they?
We can't find no directors to direct these shows or write these shows. I'm like, I'm raising my hand. I'm like, hello, we're like right here. We're right here. Aquí estamos.
Yeah. You listen. You have to actively try to ignore us. We are here, we're everywhere. And as far as the numbers go, like we buy 1 in 4 movie tickets. We're responsible for 1/3 of streaming revenue. The Latino community here in the US, and I'm talking about US Latinos. I'm not including Latin America. Okay? I'm talking US Latinos. We are the actual financial driving force behind the film industry and the country itself. We're the 5th largest GDP. Like if us, our community here, we were a country, just the US Latinos, we'd be the 5th largest country in the world for our GDP.
Absolutely.
So we have the buying power. We have the ability to say what we want and how we want it and what we should be included in. But, that's why it's really key and important for me. A lot of my socials is about educating folks, and I repeat a lot of the same stuff because I want it to be ingrained with people and understand that, like, know that we actually have this power and don't need to settle for anything less.
Absolutely, Sophia.
Mic drop. I love that. I just love what you guys are doing. As far as where we are versus where you want to take it, how far? What is end game? I know you said you're working on A+. Right now, you have your current investment with WeFund. What is your ultimate goal with Avenida? What's end game?
Yeah, absolutely. So the goal for Avenida is to be one of the major studios in the entertainment industry, and the way Tyler Perry Studios is and BET is to the African American community is what Avenida and A+ are going to be to the Latino community. When you have we are part of the community, and we surround ourselves with other folks that are part of our community too, because like I said, we're very diverse. We take in consideration Afro Latinos, LGBTQ Latinos that are come from different experiences, who are maybe 1st gen, 2nd gen, a lot of different things. So we understand the reality of it. So for us to build it to that capacity, we have to understand our community at large. And who we are. So we are going to be one of the main players is Avenida's trajectory. On top of that, one of the shorter term goals, and I'm going to say maybe short to midterm, not even too far at all, is once we start seeing all the statistics and data from A+, our streaming platform, because we're going to have different types of TV shows. We're going to have short form, a lot of different things. So for us, we are going to see the data and statistics on the back end. We are going to start greenlighting projects. If we see a short is kicking butt, we're like, let's turn this into a feature film. Let's fund this and create this into a full-length movie. So for us, it's our job to start greenlighting and creating celebrities, and not just in front of the camera celebrities, directors, producers, and everything that surrounds the process of creating the content.
Nice, absolutely. So you're saying we're not just one monolith that just has one taste. We're a rich variety of different types of spices. Wow.
Yeah. I know, right? You all don't live in East LA too? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah, no. Everybody doesn't live.
No. The thing is, listen. The thing is, we're everywhere. And we say that, and the thing is, like, yeah, some of us live in East LA, some of us live in Pasadena, some of us in Chicago, some of us live in New York, and some of us live everywhere. And the thing is, Hollywood has this fixed mentality of, this is a Latino, they're Mexican, they live in East LA, they're all gangbangers, and occasionally one will do good. So.
That'll be a good one. No, we were talking about this. I think with Rosa Parra from Rosa Reviews the other day, because we were bringing up the Fast and Furious franchise and how they've sort of retconned. Dominic Toretto, where he was clearly like Italian coded when the first couple of movies, and they're like, no, actually his sister's Brazilian, and they're like, no, and then they're like, well, they showed his backstory, and he was clearly Chicano because his dad was Mexican, obviously, and then they're like, no, but his grandma's Puerto Rican, so it just sort of like this it's this super interesting just way of them just saying you guys are just this one thing, and it doesn't. And Guatemala and Mexico and
Yeah.
Colombia, Uruguay. It's whatever. It's you know what I
It
mean.
reminds me, that reminds me of George Santos saying he was Jewish. No, not Jewish.
Jewish.
Yeah.
So
he's Latino-ish.
but the Latinification of Dom Toretto is just one of my favorite Hollywood cliche things, and it's like no, he's Latino. He's always been Latino. Toretto is not an Italian name. No, it's not.
But they can do that because no one's going to call them out on it, and like they know that no one really knows the difference. You know, you can just be like, yeah, he's Cuban or whatever. I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I did want to touch a little bit on your background because I spoke to Fanny, and she's from Venezuela. I spent a lot of time in my youth. I lived in Caracas during the Menudo days, and stuff like that. But where are you originally from, Nelson? And what's your background?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in LA. So I consider myself a Chicano with a culture here, but I'm Mexidorian, Mexican mom, Salvadorian dad.
Nice.
So, yeah. And, so, I grew up here in LA. I grew up in Highland Park. I used to share that with people, which is a community out here that's really gentrified now. People didn't know what it was back, a few years ago. But, I'm very much an LA guy. It's I have my roots here. I grew up in this incredible, playground here that Hollywood would film in all the time. I got to see productions live being filmed in front of me. Like I saw La Bamba, I saw Mi Familia filmed in front of me. I saw Reservoir Dogs being filmed in front of me. Like when a lot of those famous scenes, I was standing there watching it. And I remember I used to go down there with my dad and my brothers and watch it. And my dad would lean down and say, "Hey, if that's what you want to do, you can do it. I'll support you." So I had that inspiration of, from actually both my parents, knowing that I could achieve these things. So it was really important. So I grew up here in LA watching Hollywood all around me. And it was always something I wanted to get into. And obviously not until I started getting into it in my 20s that I realized that the traditional Hollywood didn't really want me for the parts I wanted to play.
Yeah.
No more prison parts, no more gangbanger parts, please, etc.
How did you get into acting originally?
Yeah, so I just started taking acting classes. I got in with some friends, started doing short films and stuff, and I was on a few different TV shows, did some independent films, commercials, all of that stuff, and it was going great. And I just get really turned off because I would go in for roles that were for like an LAPD officer. And I go in and I read it, and they'd be like, "Oh, Nelson, that's excellent. That's great. But now do it like an accent." And I'm like, "Oh, well, why does a guy need an accent?" They're like, "Oh, because he's from LA. He was born and raised in LA in the Latino culture." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's me."
You're like, "That's me." Yeah,
that's me. They're like,
same, girl, same.
Right? And they're like, but he's really deep. He's part of the streets and stuff. I was like, listen, my brother is an LAPD officer. He's legit. And, they was like, what, you think he speaks like Speedy Gonzalez? Like, what is this? No. And I was just so turned off by it. So I was like, yeah, no, so Fanny and I made a decision a few years ago to stop auditioning. Like people still, so they'll like, "Hey guys, can you read for this?" And friends of ours and colleagues and filmmakers who want us in their films, they'll be like, "Hey, can you read for this and stuff?" We'll do that still. But I'm not gonna go in as an audition for a role to be, that's gonna be counterproductive toward my overall mission, and not even be given a role of significance. So, I'm taking, I have an article in Forbes or Reuters and this and that, and then come in and do this little stereotypical one-liner for some production that doesn't care, give it,
No,
I almost cussed. I know you can cuss, but give
it. Yeah, you can. Go ahead. Go.
I cuss a lot sometimes, especially when I get passionate.
We love that. We do that a lot. Trust me, it happens a lot here. We'll go on speeches and
YouTube hates us for it, but we do it anyway. All right, I do have one part that I am gonna need you to read for when I get the rights for it, and that is the Ricardo Montalban story. So let's wait. Why is it my picture showing up?
Loading.
I'm having.
It's thinking.
It's thinking about it. Why? It's messing up. It's messing up my jokey jokes here. What's going on?
I know.
Here?
You hit that punchline correctly. And
there it is.
There
That's where it comes out. There it goes. Listen, and this is especially
kidding.
I did a little deep dive into your IG stories here. Look at it.
Oh,
Just
God.
because if anybody, I mean, I'm super old, but if anybody remembers Fantasy Island, Ricardo Montalban, and my imaginary friend when I was a baby was named Montalban. So my mom and dad would tell me all
Aw.
the time, it was like, "Oh, what about Montalban? Montalban?" And that was the name that was stuck in my. That was my imaginary friend. Was a kid. His name Montalban. So
Wow.
That's incredible. You know, it's funny. You know, it's funny. I took this picture and I listen. Ricardo was an incredible man and just carried himself with such grace and everything. And you know, he's one of the people I really try to model myself after. You know, I'm very much about representing myself in a specific way, in a certain way, and a little bit of gangster when I have to be. But
Mhm.
after this picture was taken, a lot of people have reached out to me talking about like, "Hey Nelson, I don't know if you were joking around, but this needs to be a thing. This is something like you need to you need to play Ricardo Montalban in a
Yes.
role." And so I am all for it.
you're in it. All right,
May
cool.
be
All right.
As
something.
you
Yeah,
should.
let's
All
do
right.
it.
I'll write in
Awesome.
direct. I'll write in direct for scale. Trust me.
I support that.
I'll do underscale. I'll do underscale for you guys. Don't trip. All right. I had just a couple more questions for you, and then I know we know you're busy, Nelson, so we'll let you go. But
It's all good. Shoot it my way, bud.
I wanted to ask you, as a two questions. As a up and coming studio, how has the strike affected you? And any kind of ongoing productions. Do you have any thoughts on the strike in general? And do you see the there will be another side to this, because obviously the strike has become not necessarily even about what's happening. It's about these huge corporations that have taken over the arts, being scared that if they give in to writers and actors, they're going to have to then give in to FX people, makeup people, PAs. And it's really
Mhm.
more about not wanting to set a precedent at this point so that they have to pay all the other people that are like, what? Oh, you mean corporations are stealing profit by stealing our labor and keeping most of the profit? What's going on? So how do you see us coming out on the other end, specifically as it pertains to Latinos, people of color, et cetera?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a great question. See, the thing is, I have ponies on both side of both races here. Like studio side and creator side. So I'm an actor as well. I'm still part of SAG. I'm a proud SAG member. I stand with the WGA writers, but I'm also a studio. But the thing is, I'm not aligned. We're not aligned with the studios the way they're operating now.
Mhm.
There's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of money to be made. Studios can still be very profitable and pay people fairly. Have we seen a dip within yeah, absolutely. Our production side for our studio usage, there's definitely been a dip. Unfortunately, we still get influencers and certain independent films that are not non-union and stuff that utilize our services and things like that. So that keep it going. It's not what it used to be. For us, rather than being like, oh no, we need to stand on the side of the studios to make it happen because it affects our bottom line, our dollar. Fanny and I are very much people of integrity. We know that this is a temporary setback for the company's revenue for a matter of a few months, but it's not something that's it's not something that's damaging. It's not.
Mhm.
I think it's funny. I think the studios are really like they're kind of projecting a lot more than it actually affects them. And these guys have a ton of money.
Yeah, so much.
But yeah, and for us, that's why we're doing something different. A Plus, our streaming platform, is going to have a revenue share program. We're going to put aside a certain percentage of our ad revenue, and we're going to split that with the creators. So we are all about actually incentivizing creators. The more people that watch their content, the more people that are going to the more they're actually going to earn. It's like, if you're on YouTube, people incentivize people to watch their YouTube channels because they get
Yeah.
paid for it. It's a brilliant idea. So that's something we're utilizing. TikTok's another big one. They do that stuff often. And why is TikTok the biggest, social media platform also right now? It's because they understand this greed from the studios is it's something else. And I think their issue is they're backed into a wall because they've built their entire company and organizations around these structures of just how much they squeeze.
Yeah.
So when they have to create a different model, it completely breaks down the existing model that they have. But if you build it with the intention of actually helping folks and being a company that's about uplifting and sharing in the profits, because there's going to be a lot of profits anyway, it's just a better way to go. So that's why we're excited about, creating this program that we're going to help creators really monetize from it too. So
I love it. You heard it here first, folks. Avenida Productions does not support corporate greed.
Absolutely. Listen, I tell people, capitalism's great if it's done fairly. I think if you have a great idea, you hustle, you put in the late nights, you put in your credit on the line, you sacrifice things with your family, your schedule, and different things like that, and you want to put yourself on a risk and make some money and be a capitalist, I think that's cool. You deserve a big check. I don't think you deserve the entire check,
right?
Because there are a lot of people that had to do with it. But I think you deserve a big check, and I think that's fine. And it's not everybody wants to be rich. Not everybody wants to start a business. But I also feel that people who just want to live a fair, happy life should have that right too. So
exactly,
there's a line you cross between greed and capitalism, and making something for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I have one more question. I don't know if Sophia has any more, but my other question for you would be, and I think I spoke to you briefly about this. I think maybe at the festival, but obviously during COVID and the last couple of years, I haven't been able to make any films and stuff like that. We started this podcast and do this stuff, but I am a filmmaker, at my core. We have 2 SAG features, about a dozen films that have been in festivals and stuff like that. And I am going to start making a movie again at some point. As a Latino creative who is going to be funding, what would you say is the main reason that I should use Support Our Story as a crowdfunding platform versus Kickstarter that might have, in theory, a bigger reach, versus GoFundMe that might be a little more simple to donate, versus word of mouth, I don't want you to sell me on it, but I'm just saying, because I'm probably still going to use it. But I would say, what would be the reasons you would give a Latino creative like myself to use your platform to fund their films? Because I know Henry Kelly recently used it. I know him from Twitter for a project, and they've had great success. I've known other filmmakers that have used it, obviously. So give me your side of that.
Absolutely. So I'm not going to sell you on it. I'm going to inform you, and then I'm going to inform you on it, and then you're going to be sold on it. Listen, it's just the truth. Like I tell people, listen, we created something that's incredible. We actually have two celebrity campaigns launching on this over the next few days. So the reason Support Our Story has been so successful is because it is the only platform, and we have a patented technology behind this. It's the only platform that knows where you are on your crowdfunding journey. Like, it knows if you've just opened your page, where you are at your progress, if you've raised a little money, if you're ahead of schedule or behind schedule. We have an incredible amount of different trigger and data points to tell where you are as a creator in your fundraising goal, and it sends you instructions on how to raise the money. It tells you exactly what to do. Hey, you got to take these actions today. You got to do this. You got to do that. And we break it down in pieces because, there's different types of crowdfunding. There's crowdfunding like equity crowdfunding, like we're doing on someone else's platform. This is rewards based. There's crowdfunding for like medical bills, is where like people go to like GoFundMe. There's crowdfunding for like products and stuff like that. People go to Kickstarter for that. We are all about specifically supporting creatives. So our coaching and guidance is specifically around creating a film, a project, some type of art, a theater show, whatever it is, because it's a different conversation. People aren't going to get a physical product, but what they are doing is they're helping you with a movement to share a story, to elevate voices. And there's a specific way of coming in from there. Now, we've understand it. Like we've raised millions and millions of dollars, like I mentioned earlier, for hundreds of projects. Now we've lost track about just exactly how much and how many projects we've helped, and how many thousands of people have been employed, throughout the years because of it. But we have over 98% success rate on it, and our average contribution size for this is 3 times the amount of the competitors. So
sold.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And
Wow.
we actually recently updated it.
All right, talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Check this out. We actually recently updated it where now you actually get to talk with a live coach. So besides the platform recognizing it, besides the actual platform recognizing where you are and stuff, implementation of like certain AI things. Don't worry, we're not putting anyone out of a job here, but certain AI things. We actually added the element of actual live coach that actually meets with you 3 times throughout your campaign to actually get you. And then every time people meet with a live coach, their campaign sees a spike in contributions too. So yeah, we've got that game down. When it comes to crowdfunding for creative projects, we're the top team in the country.
All right. Well, look for a third feature from a Latino filmmaker that is a sci-fi comedy with a mostly Latino cast on Support Our Story in the near future. As when I'm sure I'll be able to talk to you before we launch, but yeah, this is absolutely something that as a filmmaker is very pertinent to me. And as soon as you guys launched this a few years back, I was like, ooh, and especially, with the John Leguizamo campaign, with Henry's campaign recently, and other filmmakers that I've met through Twitter and other places, it's always just been like, oh, okay, you know what? When it is time, this is what you're going to use. So being able to meet you and Fanny personally and know who's behind it, that just like solidifies it for me. So any Latino we reach tons of Latino creatives in our audience. Anybody that watches Mi Gente Show live, obviously, hey, quick plug for us. Mi Gente Show is available everywhere you get your podcast.
Yeah.
All you got to do is type in Mi Gente Show and you'll see our little pretty faces. Here we are on Spotify. Our last couple of episodes, we did an interview with Chris Estrada from This Fool, who's now on Hulu. Kenneth Castillo, filmmaker from LA, and a lot of other stuff that's on there. So check us out, Mi Gente Show. So anybody that listens to us, watches us, if you're creative in the arts and you are going to do a campaign, make sure that you look up Support Our Story through Avenida Productions and make sure you use them as the platform because they are doing things the right way. Nelson and Fanny are awesome people in real life and on the internet, both, which is rare. And we need to support ourselves and get to the point where we get more than one choice on what Latino TV show to promote. So now we have to promote. Now we have to support Blue Beetle because the strike happened and the advertising budget is like a fifth of what it was for Barbie. Or like a 10th probably. And we need to go out there regardless of the fact that the stars can't do interviews or anything like that. We need to make sure that it is a hit because that's what we do. We need to support our own people.
Money talks.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm a SAG member, so I can't speak to certain things like that. What I can say is support the Latino actors. That's what I can say.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And Cholo, in his work that he's done. But yeah, I mean, we have to come through and show the support because again, this would be another reason of like, hey, listen, we give the Latino community projects and they tank. So why
you Blue Beetle?
Here's that thing that unwanted stepchild thing again. Oh, we gave them that, and look what they did with it.
No, they're already saying because they were like, oh, it's projected at like 15 million. Now we're like, no, it's projected at 30 million, and it's like, oh yeah, motherfucker, we're gonna hit 100 million soon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right, Sophia, did you have any other questions for Nelson?
Not so much questions. I feel like we covered all the bases, but I do have a statement, and that's basically just that. Thank you so much to you and Fanny. I feel like what you both are doing is just incredibly amazing. And as a jaded actress who has been in the audition rooms, like you mentioned, and all of that is just so limited roles and opportunities that like you can only do so much. And growing up on BET, like I loved watching everything like everything from reality shows, movies, they just had such a close-knit community. And I feel like for the African American community, it has grown only and strengthened. And I feel like it kind of feels like the Latinos, Latinx are starting to finally, come together. And I think that production companies like yourself and Avenida Productions is just like absolutely the way to get there. So I really, really support and enjoy what you both are doing. And I just wanted to thank you and wanted to say, everybody who's watching, please support them. Please support Avenida. We need this.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that, Sophia. And I appreciate that. Fanny and I do take these acknowledgements and we really take them here in our heart because we care. like we care. We've always been transparent through all this stuff, and we take the time to actually meet with people as much as we can, because it really does mean a lot to us. Because for us, we know it personally. It's a personal attachment for us, and we also we have kids. Between both of us, we have 3 kids, so we want to make sure that we leave this place more inclusive for them as well. But I want to share something with you. What was it? $158,000 when the WeFunder? Check it out. Since we've been talking,
yeah,
we're at
yeah.
So this was
There you go.
this was like a what? She's $12,000 interview since we've been on here.
There you go.
Oh my
Listen.
goodness! Look at that. Look.
My little $100 hasn't hit yet, but that's gonna bump it up a little bit more. So.
Oh, yo, did you invest?
I'm trying to. I'm just.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Luis, we appreciate that, brother. Listen.
Same.
But don't say your little $100. Because listen, man,
Yeah.
what it is, it's a community effort. It's a
Yeah.
community effort, brother. Because listen, it really is about all of us. It's not about one of us. It's not about this whole community has to come through together, and we really appreciate it. If it's $100, if it's 100,000, whatever it is, brother and sister Sophia, really, it to us it matters a lot, and we really appreciate you all for really. We really do.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
We appreciate you, Nelson.
Look, if there's if there's a reason besides me and Sophia like to talk to each other and like to talk chisme and react, that we have this podcast, it's also because once we talked about it, it's like we feel good about the fact that we do the spotlight, the Latinx spotlight, try to promote a creative, try to uplift our own people. Because if even if we go, sometimes we have 1,000 downloads in an episode, sometimes we have 100, but we know people are listening. So if our numbers, if we don't grow, at least at the end of the day, we feel good about the fact that we are putting some good out into the world, promoting our brothers, our sisters, our hermanas, everybody, to try to get up there. And as somebody who's met you personally and Fanny personally, and sees you guys as colleagues, and somebody that I'd like to continue to see succeed, so that at some point we can work with you guys on a professional level as well at some point, because I'm going to keep making movies. That's my art. Sophia's going to keep acting. We're going to keep podcasting for fun and doing stuff like that. But we're, at the end of the day, we're filmmakers as well. So we want to see you guys succeed, so that the playing field gets opened, and so that we can get more work. It's as simple as that.
That's exactly it. Listen, it's a community effort. This isn't for me or one person or anyone to rise. This really is. This is for all of us combined. So I look forward to the future work we're all going to do together, guys. So let's keep grinding on it. And listen, if it's 100 downloads and it's 1,000 downloads, it's fine. But one day it's going to be 100,000 downloads.
Absolutely.
You just got to keep grinding in it.
Absolutely. Yes. Hey, I've been practicing my Oscar speech in the mirror since I would say it. I'm going to say it one day. So don't trip. Good. Don't trip. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nelson, for joining us, man. We're going to let you go. I appreciate you coming on, man.
All right. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Luis. Appreciate you too.
Got it.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Later.
Bye.
All right. That was Nelson Grande.
Lovely.
Grande.
Him and Fanny, man, they are just bosses.
Boss. Jefes.
Boss.
Jefes even.
Jefes.
Jefes and jefas and whatnot.
Very good.
Man.
Yeah, their WeFunders blowing up, baby.
Blowing up. $12,000 while we were talking.
Yeah, everybody.
That's great. Yeah,
support.
I'm setting up my. I was gonna do it before the interview, but I had to set up a WeFunder account so that I could donate, or so that I can invest, not donate.
Invest. Yeah.
Invest.
I do like that, the fact that it's an investment. Yeah, absolutely. Like if it grows, you get certain things. Yeah, there's perks, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Whew. Today we have a hard out of 3:30. Yeah. All so right. Well, look at us having a hard out for once. That's crazy.
All right. And
we're not. Let's see what we can hit on. Any particular topics that you're like, we have to speak on this today?
All right. I'm just gonna tell me where you want me to stop. All right. Little Tay died. Do you know who Little Tay? Little Tay. She was like a 8-year-old that was posing on Instagram with like hundreds of thousands of dollars and like Lamborghinis and stuff.
Oh, did she also rap?
Yeah, she rapped, and then her parents, and then they've been out of the spotlight Like apparently they try to sue their dad because he was like trying to manage all their money, and it turned out that they were being like maybe abused or something.
Oh, wow.
And now her and her brother are both dead.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not enough time to like dive into the craziness that's going on there. But just reaction. All right, let me see what else we have
That's
here.
insane.
The whole
big,
world.
too.
The whole world is on fire. You know, shout out to all
Mhm.
our family and friends in Hawaii. We have some listeners and guests that are out there.
Mhm.
Maui, there's people jumping to the ocean because it's fucking burning. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else of note? I don't feel like we have a lot to get into.
It's been a slow news week, I will say.
Let me see. I'm just seeing what else we have. All right. Barbie's hitting $1 billion. Oh yeah, here's one that
We never talked about Barbie last week. I wanted to say yes.
Let's okay. So Ben Shabibo whined about Barbie, and
Of course he did.
he basically said, "Oh no, this is another Ben Shabibo thing where he was whining about Rachel Ziegler being cast to play Snow White." Okay, here's the Barbie thing I wanted to see. Hold on a second. I just have a bunch of random stuff here. Lizzo made a statement. Oh, there's that woman that used blackface at Starbucks.
Oh, was she an employee or just?
She used to work at the post office, but she like went to Starbucks and Target and asked where the Pride section is at. Let's see. We have some unhinged TikTok stuff. We have some hospital stuff. We have some horrible. There was that giant brawl in Montgomery.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So I loosely heard of this, but I haven't seen the full story.
There's a craziness. Let's see.
Dani.
So you're saying there's a chance segment, Natalie Portman and her husband are separating after 11 years of marriage?
Oh, well, that's sad. Okay, we don't condone divorce. That is very sad. And oh no, divorce? I don't know. We don't support it. Whatever. I don't know. What I'm saying is that's sad, but also 11 years. That's a successful relationship, right? That's good.
So you're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance. No, there was a story that I wanted to call. Mitch McConnell got booed for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, retire.
That was a funny one.
Retire.
Okay, there's an initiative thing.
He's just not working. I'm ready for Barbie.
U.S. national team lady gets shit on because she ignored some kid. Let me see. Okay, Ben Shapiro predicted that Barbie would fall off after the first week.
Boo.
He said it was too woke, blah blah blah, and it's already past 1 billion globally. So you've seen it now. What are your thoughts on it?
Ratchet Barbie is telling Ben Shapiro to fuck off. Fuck off, Ben.
Ratchet Barbie. Is that your
Ratchet Barbie does not condone Ben Shapiro. Just anyway. She's gonna stick around. What's up? I loved Barbie. Are you kidding me? I actually watched it twice. And it was so good. Even on the second watch, I noticed more things. The commentary is amazing. I think that anybody that says it's anti-men isn't getting the point. It's anti-patriarchy, which is a system of oppression. It's not necessarily like against men. It actually has a pretty nice message towards men, in the sense that like Ken, for example. Oh, I don't want to spoil it. Should I spoil it?
Is your Kenough?
Yes, like literally Ken's arc is beautiful. He goes from like thinking that his value only relies on if Barbie looks at him. If she looks at him, he has a great day. And then vice versa, right? It's like traumatic if she doesn't acknowledge him and blah, blah, blah. So basically it's a really good message about finding your worth in yourself and finding what you love and who you are, as opposed to relying on getting your value based on somebody else, whether it's women or men. You know, so I actually thought it was a pretty beautiful humanistic message, but I think that anybody with the manosphere being as, I don't know, as short-sighted as they are currently, it's very, I can see how like some men are like feeling attacked, because when you are used to being in power for so long, just equality is like, you know, threatening. You see it as like a loss of something, when in reality, everyone's just trying to look out for everyone's mental health, all right? You are enough. Maybe not you, Ben Shabibo, but other men.
Ben, yeah. No, I liked it. I saw some people that weren't fans of it just from an aesthetic purpose or just from a filmmaking perspective. I enjoyed it when I watched it. I understood it right away, like what she was trying to do. There was actually some weird backlash where some Manosphere people were saying that Greta was being unintentionally based, as in she was making a great movie and it had some strong male points, but it was just by mistake, and she wasn't really trying to do that.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Do
So
tell
hey,
more on that. I haven't heard that one.
what's up,
Rosa?
Rosa? What's
Hey,
up,
baby.
Rosa? You can catch Rosa's review of Barbie at the Daily Cella.
Yes. Daily Chilla.
You can find, I'm sure she had some interesting. All right, here's something that I wanted to ask you about in regards to Barbie. Because my job is beach on the weekend, so I had to get my little Barbie thing. But this is something that came out, which is the unintended consequences. Is the Barbie movie is ending relationships left and right.
Not gonna lie, it's my pickup line now. It's my not pickup line. It's my vet all people to see if they're good people.
Okay.
Just like, what did you think about Barbie? Immediately finds out if they're misogynistic. Anyway, continue.
A quote that there was a woman was watching it with her boyfriend, and she said that I really didn't even recognize how he was perceiving it until he asked, "Are you crying?" 2 or 3 times throughout the movie. Come on, Barbie, let's go break up with our boyfriends. After a week of release, social media is full of stories for women who say they deeply reconsidered their relationship after seeing the film. Am I the asshole for breaking up with my boyfriend over the Barbie movie? One asked on Reddit. On TikTok, another woman said the Mattel movie inspired her to break up with her boyfriend after a string of bad behavior. Thank you, Barbie, for empowering me, for giving me confidence, for making me realize I deserve better.
Yes, Barbie.
Did anyone watch Barbie and suddenly want to break up with their boyfriend, or was it just me? Are you crying? You're just a guy, and you'll never understand how difficult it is to be a woman in a man's world, etc., etc., etc. Elsewhere on TikTok, women are sharing their plan to use "What did you think of Barbie?" as a litmus test for dating.
Oh, that's me! Litmus test. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Should be noted, plenty of men pass the test easily, dressing up in pink for the movie or sympathizing with their girls. That's fucking not a big deal.
Yeah, 100%. Just own it. Go watch it. Any man who likes women actually and is a feminist, believes in equality, all of that, they're not going to take offense. They're going to play around. They're going to watch it and be like, yeah, your experience is valid. That sucks.
Look, I'm a big proponent of the Godfather movie. So when they were clowning on men,
it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm with you there. I was like, sir. Also,
I'm sorry, but that would be something that I would totally do if a chick was like, "Hey, can you explain the Godfather?" I'll be like, "Yeah, sit down, come on."
Exactly.
It's a story about America. I'm sorry. Anyway,
come here, sugar tits. I'll explain it to you.
I'll explain it to you, sugar tits. Also, can we bring back sugar tits? Is that acceptable again? Can I?
Only if you use this voice, sugar tits.
Listen. I love
in
all
an ironic fashion, of course.
I love all them Barbie broads. Is what I've been telling girls.
Barbie broads, yeah.
And there's also single men who consider liking Barbie a deal breaker. Someone recently was unmatched on him after she told the guy that Barbie is an experience and Oppenheimer is just a film.
Whoa. Well, no need to Oppenheimer shame.
Yeah,
okay.
Come on.
Okay. No need to get to that. Yes. But I mean, the guy who didn't like Barbie isn't gonna want to date the girl who loved it, and thought it was transformative. So that's fine. It's a fair litmus test. I don't think people should be offended if you're like, if I ask you, are you a Republican? And then you're like, yes, and I'm like, I can't date you. Then that's a fair litmus test. Because vice versa. Why would you want to date my liberal ass? Like, we don't match. We're gonna fight a lot, And it's like that with the Barbie movie.
Listen, I would love to have a Mojo Dojo Castle House myself. Yeah. I think that's goals for men, obviously. But honestly, like I said, I found that if I was giving you my review, I would find that it's empowering for men and for women, and for men, right? But it also is, it's just fun. And it's innocuous. It's not like that serious, that you have to be like, oh, your take on it is going to be paramount to like saying like, yeah, I was at January 6th. No, it's not that serious. I watched Barbie 3 times is not the same as like, yeah, I stormed the Capitol, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you like the movie, and it, yes, sometimes liking a movie versus hating a movie. Yeah, I've had this. This has happened several times in my life where somebody will be like, "Oh, I hated that movie," and then I'll just be like, "Okay, I will silently judge you."
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, these are
But
close friends.
are there any movies that are deal breakers when dating? Because we do have different standards for friends versus people that are, we're dating. Logically, so
Yes. Okay. So if I showed a woman maybe any movie, well, it's kind of like that thing where you're excited to show somebody one of your favorites, and
oh,
then
I hate that. Yeah.
and then they get up to go to the bathroom and you pause it and they're like, no, just play it, just keep
like
playing
that.
it.
Yeah.
Like if I'm showing somebody one of my movies and they get up and I'm like, oh, I'll pause it for you, they're like, nah, go ahead, just let it play.
I hate that. That is heartbreaking. Yeah. Have you seen that episode of How I Met Your Mother when he's like, we're gonna sit and watch Star Wars, and it's like his favorite, and he's just like, no, it's just a movie, like whatever. But he's like secretly testing her, and she does that. She's like, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, not paying attention on her phone.
I've never watched more than one clip of How I Met Your Mother, and it was just because it was just scrolling to the channels and they were in a bar and
oh my gosh, it's so good.
What's his face? But the kid doctor guy.
Kid doctor.
From Doogie
Howser. Doogie Howser. Yeah, of course. And Barney.
Yeah.
Dude, you should watch it. It's especially like pertinent to your generation. Like if you grew up in that time and are their age, like it's gonna be so relatable.
Pass.
All right, loser. Your loss.
See, I'm doing the thing now because I'm trying to see if you judge me silently for not liking
I am judging you loudly. Loud and proud judgment here, sir.
I'm just giving you an example. It's not that, but at the end of the day, if I was like, you'd be like, okay, Lou doesn't like How I Met Your Mother, and I'm just gonna file that in the back of my head.
Write that down, and maybe there will be no podcast next week. And then
file that away for when I quit.
Exactly. Why did you quit? Because he didn't like How I Met Your Mother. Sorry.
What would be worse if you were trying to date somebody that they didn't like How I Met Your Mother, or that they didn't like Barbie?
Oh, that's hard. Reasoning is a big one here, because not liking Barbie for me just means you kind of don't understand women.
Yeah.
It's on the misogyny side.
Yeah.
Which is very serious. Not liking How I Met Your Mother for, I don't know, like I think Barney's cringe, or like I didn't like this episode, or the ending is so stupid and like I'm gonna trash all of it now. I can understand that, so that's a good argument. But if you're like, I don't know,
I just don't think
that stuck.
No, I think that the only reason that I never like fully wanted to commit to that show is because I would see it and then I would watch like between commercial to commercial. I'd be like, oh, okay, I get it. There's some funny stuff, but it was more, and I like the cast. I think it was more that I'm weary of shows that have that end premise in their entire concept, which is like the whole concept of this is How I Met Your Mother, but then they keep trying to stretch it out. Same way I felt about like Sons of Anarchy and some other shows where it's like, okay, the premise was this, you promised me this premise, and now you're just like looking for reasons to extend it so that you can keep making money. So that's kind of,
and
like,
that's why I understand if anyone watched it and hated it for a reason. That's a solid reason. But the thing is, at its core, there's a reason why it lasted so long, and that's because without that without the How I Met Your Mother thing, without the kids and that trope, the characters themselves stand alone. Like they're just so good. The writing is so good that you can watch this. Like it's a solid, good sitcom, and you forget eventually, until they force you to remember, and then they ruin it, like Game of Thrones on the last season. Anyway.
Oh, so it shit the bed at the end for you?
Oh, it shit the bed hard. You need to watch it just to make fun of it, because like it shit the bed so hard. It was like the Game of Thrones until Game of Thrones shit the bed worse.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
maybe that. Maybe
it was like the biggest heartbreak. It was like, oh my god, did you see How I Met Your Mother? That was the worst finale of all time. And then, yeah, because it was so much, but they dragged it out for so. Anyway, watch it. We'll talk about it. It's so good though. But I still watch it. It's still my like comfort show.
Did you watch Dexter or Sons of Anarchy?
I have not. No.
Okay.
I've been told to watch Dexter a million times.
Okay. Interesting thought experiment. If you can do it, when you do watch Dexter, stop watching it after the 4th season. I believe it's the season where John Lithgow is the killer.
Okay.
At
what
the
the
end,
fuck? Why are you telling me?
Oh, you know he's the killer from the first time he shows up on screen. He's just the killer for. There's always a serial killer for the season. You know what I mean? So it's the Trinity killer. It's the Trinity killer sort of arc. And if Dexter had ended at the end of that season with John Lithgow as the killer, if they had ended on the very last scene of that season, it would have been an almost perfect show, because the first couple of seasons of Dexter are mwah. So if you ever watch it and you have the strength to do it, stop after that, because everything after that just goes straight to shit. And Sons of Anarchy is sort of like this. I don't know. Is it Hamlet? It's sort of a Hamlet sort of thing where this guy comes back as part of this motorcycle club, and he's supposed to try to kill the guy who killed his father, who's now fucking his mom. It's very Shakespearean, but they drag it out. They drag that shit out until there was nothing left on those bones, and so those are my two, like that. Dexter, Sons of Anarchy, and Game of Thrones are the shows that shit the bed the most for me.
Damn. Okay. All right. I'll watch it. But I did watch Better Call Saul. And...
If you watch either of those, Better Call Saul stuck the landing.
No, I'm saying I watched it because you recommended it. So I'm already 2 shows deep that you recommended, which means that you need to start watching something. How I Met Your Mother.
All right.
Do it.
All right. If you
Barbie.
Those, I'll take a look at it.
All right, cool. But yeah, Bobby, loved it. I think it's a fair litmus test. I have a few movies that are litmus tests. So.
Really?
Well, not a few. Maybe just like. Here's the thing: if I'm dating a man, he really needs to be a feminist. Because I feel like when I date women, it's almost implied already, assumed that they are going to not be anti-women, right? Of course, Candace Owens exists.
Pearly
but
things.
Pearly things. But like, but it's almost like, yeah, of course. But with men is like, you can date a man and like fall in love and everything without knowing that they hate women deeply.
Right.
And it's very easy to do. So a litmus test would be like Promising Young Woman is a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And now Barbie's a great one. Yeah.
Promising Young Woman's a good one. Barbie's a good one.
Yeah.
I like to, also how they treat wait staff is a big one.
100%. Exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
Whether they're.
It's just, are they a good person? And there's so many ways of, proving that.
The old locked door thing. If you have an old school car with the girls, you got to do that one.
What is that one? Locked door.
The locked door trip. Oh yeah, that's a classic. That's from Bronx Tale, but it's also been around for whatever. So if you have like an old school car that has the locks,
gotcha.
What you do is you open the door for the girl and you unlock it with your key. You open the door for them, and then you walk around the back, and then you see whether or not she reaches over to unlock your door or not.
Oh, I had never heard of that one.
So you open the door for her, you let her in the car. This is old school, right? Because now it's just beep, beep,
that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. So you open the door for her, you let her in because you had to use your key. Then you walk around the back, and then you see whether or not if she sits there and she immediately starts, opening up the mirror and But if when you're walking around, she does the reach over, unlock your door for you.
Wow.
Yeah, right. That says a little something, right?
I would have probably failed that. So bien despistada.
Yeah.
I'd like, where is he? Where'd he go?
Or if he just like let out a
once I saw you struggling, then I'd be like, oh my gosh, he needs help. But
yeah, sometimes you'll get around and you're about to put the key in, and they're like, oh, it's just it's a test. It's a test. Anyway.
Oh, Bonzo, it can never be. Oh no. It's okay, Bonzo.
How about Promising Young Woman? Did you like that one? No, Promising Young Woman is a really good movie too.
Right, it's freaking good. Yeah, I watched that one with a man, and then we had like a 4-hour conversation afterwards. That's how I knew it was meant to be.
Listen, if I put on Super Troopers and she's not laughing, or if I put on Basquiat and they're not
Ooh, yeah.
interested,
Mhm.
or like, look, if she doesn't like The Godfather, I understand it's not for everybody. I'm not a
I
huge
love
Star Wars,
it though.
not a huge Star Wars nerd. I don't know if there is a movie. More likely, if I put on like a classic comedy, or it wouldn't necessarily be that they didn't like it. It would be like if they were unopen to watching an old movie because it was either black and white or
Mhm.
because they felt it was antiquated. Just because as a lover of cinema, as a filmmaker, I think that would affect me
Mhm.
more than they didn't get the premise or something like that.
Ooh, here's another one. What about dating someone who just doesn't like movies at all?
I don't know. I don't
It's
think
just
I
not
could.
their thing. Do you think it would work out?
Is there people like that?
They are. They exist.
They just want TV shows?
Yeah. Maybe they're just really into The Bachelor. I don't know, but they're like, I don't like movies.
Oh,
It's not my
Lou,
thing.
if I was like, what's your favorite TV show? And they started naming off reality shows, I would be like, peace out.
What
Okay.
if they like really good shows, but they just don't like
Nah,
movies for some
I can
reason?
work with you. I could deal with you. I don't mind going to the movies
Damn.
by myself.
See, I don't think I could do that. Okay.
What if
all
it
right.
was you were dating a girl and she
Mhm.
was Salma Hayek body, but she had pearly things mind frame of being anti-woman.
No.
She was pearly things, but hitting inside Salma Hayek.
Easy no. Easy no.
Easy no. All right.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't do that.
Hmm.
Because I got to talk to them at some point.
Sure. Yeah, you gotta.
So no.
It can't just all be dinners
Look,
and banging.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
it
no.
can't be all just. It can't all be drinking and scissoring, as the
Mhm.
lesbians say.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lesbian.
I
As
don't
they
know.
say every night. As
the
my
lesbians
grandma used to say.
Can't all just be fun times and scissoring when you're with a woman.
Yep.
Yep,
Exactly.
that's what happens.
Oh my gosh.
We actually have one anonymous way, but it's
Oh,
really
let's do it. I think that's
good way to end it.
suitable. Yeah.
It's how do you keep your cat from peeing outside the litter box? Sent in by Apple Slices. Where did we get put on as like well, we're dog people, I think.
We're very much dog people.
We're very much dog people. I had 4 dogs. I have 3 dogs today, and the difference between 3 and 4 dogs is that it's silent this entire time. If Milo was here, they would have been barking and play fighting all day. But since I don't have them for a couple of days, it's like a really chill environment. But I would say teach your cat to be an inside cat, so that you feel free, so that he can roam the streets at night, get tons of pussy, and then come back home when it's time to chill. And then they'll just shit and piss in random areas around your neighborhood, and you will never have to have. The only time I've had cats that has been success that I've loved is when I first moved here and we brought a cat here, and immediately he was like, okay, this is my backyard, cool. And we had pit bulls, so he would get out into the streets and run around, and then all of a sudden sometimes he'd be getting chased by other cats, and he'd be like jump into our backyard where my dogs were, and then the other cats would jump in and be like, fuck, we fucked up, and stuff like that. But I don't know where he pissed or shit, so I really have nothing to add to that.
Well, they just said outside the litter box, so I'm assuming somewhere indoors, right?
Keep it cleaner, maybe you should make sure.
If I don't know what I would do with my dogs when I was puppy pad training them, was like, and they were just puppies. A lot of times they don't do it out of malicious reasons, right? So I would just pick up the poop, and put it on the pad, or like soak up the pee with the pad and then leave it there for a bit, just so they know that like with the scent, that's where it goes. Yeah. And then clean it up, obviously. But I would like take the dog, be like, look, sniff, that's where your shit goes. There you go. That's where it is. And then they'd be like, oh, okay. Eventually they caught on. And then I did that with outside training as well. I just like, look over there. That's where it goes. Go that way.
That was a lot of randomness.
Yeah. I love cats, but I've never had one. So mind you, this is coming from a Chihuahua owner.
All right.
And whatever the fuck that dog is.
So thank you, Apple Slices, for sending in that question.
Thank you, Apple Slices.
Even though it's a little random, we appreciate that you took the time to confide in us.
And Name's ways are better than none. Yes.
Did you anybody here? So if anybody's still watching, listening, or taking a listen, if you send us some more anonymous ways, did you, or some random comments, did you guys have you ever considered breaking up with somebody over a piece of media, a TV show, a movie, a piece of art? Like if I took somebody to like an art museum, you know what I did, because I'm a big art guy, obviously. And I did go with somebody to the Museum of Modern Art, and there was there was an artist, and I don't know if it was the Keith Haring or the Jean Michel Basquiat exhibit, and they just didn't get their art. They were like, oh, it's just doodles, and I was like, yeah, okay, and that was kind of like, I think that was the end of that. So.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think they didn't get I think they didn't get Keith Haring, and I was like, no, but you don't understand. He's like, yeah, it's just stick figures, and I was like,
did you try to explain it to them? Because sometimes people just don't know how to receive art.
yeah, that could be it. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just like, if two people don't vibe on art or media, is it that it depends? I guess it depends how big of a deal that is to certain people.
You know what's a big deal for me is like, because I feel like art is so subjective, especially if you go to a museum, and then it varies by artist. Sometimes you're like, that's not my favorite. I don't like that one. I don't know, whatever, right? But I think the ability to learn and to talk about a topic, like even if it's something that you have no idea, but I'm super passionate about it, and we are looking at an art piece that I really like, and you're like, it's stick figures, at least have the like mental capacity to like listen and maybe like, oh, I see how you see that, you know, like kind of like just be able to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, open up your mind.
And about films as well. It's kind of like, it's just kind of like, there's some movies that I love that, like, for example, my sister was just like, one of my favorite movies. She was just like, it was stupid. I didn't like it. I didn't get it.
There's also something.
And I was like, but it was amazing.
There's also something to be said for the person that you find that you're like, hey, they're playing, like for example, next week, they're re-releasing they're a movie that I really love called Old Boy. And actually, I didn't add you to the group chat because I invited like 25 filmmakers.
I think I was in there.
Oh, you were in there?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't reply. I was like, I don't think I'm going that day, but yeah.
No, so and so if, for example, if there's somebody in your life or that you're talking to and they're like, yeah, I'll go with you. It's not really my thing, but I'll go with you. Like if there's somebody supportive of you in that way, where they're like, hey, there's a 25th anniversary of this, or there's a special showing, or they're doing a marathon. Do you want to come over and watch this with me? And they're like, sure. And they secretly, they hate it, but they're still down. That's a good sign though.
Yeah.
That they'll put up with the shit that you like just because they want to be supportive.
But see, that's one thing though. I would go a step further and say, I wouldn't want someone who hates something to do it just because of me. At the very least, be a person who like can tolerate it, I guess, you know, like for example, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan. I don't hate her. I do like some songs, but I'm literally on a kickball team with a bunch of hardcore Swifties, and when they tell me Taylor stuff, boy, do I listen, and man, am I invested. Because I can just, you know, it's like, it's not, I don't hate it. It's not, you know, I'm interested. I'm intrigued, you know. But if I hated it, I don't know that I would have even joined. You know what I mean? If I hated Taylor Swift with a passion, I don't know that I would be there.
You're like, so this team's whole thing is they love Taylor Swift? Like, yes.
The name is the Gaylors because of Taylor.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like half of us knew nothing of Taylor Swift coming in, and the other half are like hardcore, can say the dates of all her ex-boyfriends, and like on this day she was the picture taken with this, and she said this quote, and then there's a theory about her with yeah. So it goes deep. Swifties go deep, and I'm just like, I'm always here like with my popcorn, like, yeah, tell me more. This is great.
They should have gone all the way and just been like Gaylor Swift instead of just the Gaylors. Anyway.
Nah, that would be weird. That's too on the nose. The Gaylors is cool.
Is it?
It is, yeah. The Gaylors is cool. And a lot of people think it's Gaylord. Like, that's what I thought. I thought we were going like a play on word to like Gaylord.
The Gaylords.
And so I kept saying Gaylord, and then they were like, no, it's like Gaylor, like Taylor Swift. I was like, oh, I'm so wrong.
Let's be honest. Is it?
Let's be honest.
All right. Anyway, that's our show for today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Nelson Grande of Avenida Productions. Yes. Excellent interview. We didn't have the time to talk about anything, but it was kind of a slow week. I mean, there was the Lizzo stuff, follow up, and there's a bunch of other stuff.
Perfect timing for that, yeah.
Yeah, for perfect timing for that. We'll try to get caught up with everything next week. Back on our regular schedule, hopefully, but we will update you guys. Thank you for everybody that stopped by. For some reason, I was checking the Facebook page, and there's some people commenting on the Facebook videos, but they weren't carrying over.
Oh, so, I suppose because I'm the one linking it. Do you want to switch one?
No, we'll figure it out. But I just noticed that while I was doing it, that the Facebook weren't carrying over. So we'll just have to look into it. Maybe I'll if you know. But what have you? It's on there anyway. So thank you for everybody. We'll be back next week. Thank you. We love you. Keep listening.
Thank you so much.
And we'll talk to you later. We're up.
Hasta luego.
Vamos, papá, hay que irnos. Me estoy aguantando desde que pusieron el domo.
Puedes esperar. Muchas personas trabajaron en esta película y solo quieren que te aprendas sus nombres de memoria.
Y yo quiero asegurarme de que ningún animal resultó lesionado durante la filmación de esta película.
¡Listo! ¡Uy, palomitas en el suelo! Oh.
Espera, parece que Maggie tiene algo que decir. No, su primera palabra.